So guys, Sheik Gumi is said to have come out to say they are going to resist any attempt by Trump to divide Nigeria. Now see how this headline here captured it. It says, we will resist any attempt by external forces to break up Nigeria. Nobody can displace the Fulanis. Sheik Gumi warns Trump and Netanyahu. Also, this other headline also captured the same thing, and it says, we'll resist any attempt by external forces to break up Nigeria. Nobody can displace the Fulani. Sheik Gumi warns Trump, Netanyahu. This is coming after, there is news out there that Trump might likely go ahead to split Nigeria since the fight against insecurity is proving to be very stubborn. And this is all because we have sympathizers of these terrorists, in the Nigerian system, call it the government, at higher levels, lower levels, middle levels. We have the sympathizers of these terrorists. And now, one of the options being provided or being pushed to Trump is to split Nigeria so that the north, that is predominantly or dominantly Muslims, can practice their Sharia law freely, while the south, that is dominantly Christians, can practice their own Christianity safely. So guys, these are some of the options before Trump. Now I'm just going to allow you to take a look at these reactions and these videos coming from Nigerians as regards to what is happening. The north, don't forget that Shetima had come out before now to tell the northerners to resist every plan to split Nigeria, as if Shetima already knew that Trump might come up with this proposal to split Nigeria. Shetima told northern leaders to resist any pressure, any plan, any plot to divide Nigeria. Anyway, this is all because Trump has looked at the way the terrorism is going. A country where people in government are sympathizing with terrorists, you pay them, you negotiate with them, you enter peace deal with them, you pardon them, you rehabilitate them, and still they are going back to terror. It's not as if you set them free and that is all. No. Now you ask yourself, why are we not having Boko Haram members appearing before the court? Why are we not having Fulani terrorists appearing before the court? Yesterday, on Sunday, more than 100 persons were kidnapped from various churches somewhere in southern Kaduna. And tomorrow, when they release their victim, we'll be told that they were paid, and still the government will not go after them. They will not pay for all these criminalities. When they kidnapped in Niger State, the government did nothing. They kidnapped in Kwara State, the government did them nothing. Now they've kidnapped in Kaduna State. What do you expect the government to do? To jail them, to try them, to prosecute them? None of those is going to happen. And now the U.S. government is looking into the option of dividing Nigeria. Many people have actually welcomed this development. Anyway, guys, before we get into this video, I just want you to take a look at some of the striking headlines that, these are some of the reasons why Trump is thinking of dividing Nigeria, because the level of insecurity in Nigeria is something that, people are no longer comfortable with. Now, take a look at this, and it says, Amnesty International lambasts Nigerian government for failing to probe killing of 150 pro-Biafran protesters under late Buhari. This is it. The Biafran boys, not because they are Biafran, all these youths that are in support of secession, when they come out to protest that we want Biafra, they attacked IPOB members and killed, real killed. The terrorists who are the ones that have been killing the military, killing Nigerians, invading military bases, cutting away with our armory, our weapons, burning military vehicles. They shoot down military jet and all kinds of things. Those ones are being granted pardon. None of them is facing trial. If they are caught, they are granted pardon and release. And now Amnesty International is asking Tinubu to probe the killing of Biafrans, and the Tinubu's government is saying no. Now, this is coming from Raimo, and it says, horrific news. Armed radical Muslim Fulani attacked 3 churches yesterday and kidnapped more than 100 Christian worshippers. Our brothers and sisters in Christ are facing an existential threat at the hands of the Fulani militias. More must be done to protect them, and I urge the Nigerian government to ensure the swift and safe return of all those who were captured. And you can see Sahara reporters also captured it, saying breaking bandits kidnapped more than 100 churchgoers in Kaduna community. This is what we are saying. The North is proving very stubborn in terms of, destroying this calamity that has befallen Nigeria, terrorism. And this is because there are people who are sympathetic or sympathizers of these terrorists. And now the U.S. might likely break up Nigeria so that the North can go and practice their Sharia law full-time, while the South can practice their Christianity full-time. Anyway, guys, let me allow you to take a look at some of these videos and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.
A very, very quick one. Onyaho ka uliikpe Federal High Court nke ọkaikpe Omotosho nọ n'isi kpebiri na uliikpe agaghị anabata case of no submission application filed by Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer that Nnamdi Kanu should open defense n'ebubo na agụgọ ọchịchị etiti boroye nakwa agụgọ niile atụrụ ya na ụlọikpe. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. He will open defense. By now, the defense materials, na ihe a ga-eje open defense, is on ground. Ọ bụrụ na ọ dịghị on ground, of course, the reality is on ground, especially the marginalization of ndị Igbo is enough defense. Amam defense ọzọ a na-achọ ka nnamdi kanu open. The marginalization of ndị Igbo, ihe ahụ Ojukwu tiri mkpuye, is still happening. Ihe ahụ Ojukwu tiri mkpuye, is still happening. Amam na aghọta. Ihe ahụ butere agha Biafra 1967, 1966, ruo 1967 to 1970. Ihe ahụ meganụ mgbe ahụ ka na-emetọkwa ugbu a. So evidence ka nkụ. Anyị ga-ebidogori from the federal government. Anyị ga-ebido from ihe federal government mege ndị Igbo. I get video from the appointment of Nde Buhari in appointment during his asị ka ewepụta aha ndị niile Buhari nyere appointment ka amara ndị Igbo lene ya. Amara ndị Igbo na ministers under Buhari. Ka ibido godi na from nke Buhari. Achọrọ m ka anyị gawa fa. Ka ibido godi from nke Buhari. Ndị niile Buhari nyere appointment. Ndị Igbo lene ya. Boards of members of directors Igbo Tigbo ndị Igbo lene ya during Buhari ka m na-ekwukwu. Na ghọta na ebe anyị na-eje. Federal appointment, federal character, ndị Igbo lewu director of federal ministry, ndị Igbo lewu permanent secretary of federal ministry. These things which I ha ga-etebụlụ na court. Ọ bụrụ na anyị na-agwa ha ihe ha ga-eme. But it is a reality. We don't know their defense, we don't know whatever, but for us ndị Igbo, anyị ma na ihe nwanne anyị nwoke ji ka nọrọ ebe ahụ because he is speaking for ndị Igbo. Ọ bụzi na nke Tinubu. Ndị Igbo olewu ministers n'okpuru Tinubu, ndị Igbo ole ka enyere appointment n'okpuru Tinubu, ndị Igbo olewu board of directors, this and that, permanent secretary, Igbo n'okpuru Tinubu. All these things wụcha ihe ndị Igbo na-ebe akwa ya marginalization a na-ekwu okwu ya n'ala Igbo. So, what are we saying in essence? What we are saying in essence is this. Emegbuole ndị Igbo too much n'obodo abụ Nigeria. Onye ọbụla bụ onye Igbo sị gị na-emegbuge hụ ndị Igbo mara jụọ ajụjụ lineage o nwere ike ọwụghị onye Igbo tụwara ime ihe. Ọwụghị ọbara onye Igbo ka ejiri kpụọ ya. Ndị Igbo ha suffered enough. Lenu nke mere na Lagos State. O bidoro taa. Akụrụ ụlọ ndị Igbo taa. Abịa sị gị na ha rụrụ ya na illegal structure. Arụrụ ya. Amahụ m onye wu onye Igbo kpatara ego ga-eje obodo dịka Lagos chịrị ụlọ without documentation. Amahụ m onye bụ onye Igbo ga-arụ mansion ma ọ rụọ plaza na Lagos without documentation. Onye Igbo kpatara ego. One thing I know of ndị Igbo ji ego, especially businessmen ndị Igbo ji ego, ha na-adị thorough. Ha na-adị very articulate. Ha na like ime mistake because ha make mistake, millions will go down, billions will go down. But because of the marginalization of ndị Igbo na Nigeria, ele mansion ndị Igbo na Lagos, Akuja, ele ihe ndị Igbo na Lagos, Akuja. Onye wụkwana anyị, onye wusu ngụ n'ofe, ndị Igbo ha kwanu ndị ebe, after all, emeriri ha n'agha. That is the mentality. That is the mentality. So we are not afraid. We are not. Because it is happening and it is still happening. Ndị Igbo le urula IG na Nigeria. Ndị Igbo le urula defense staff na army. Ndị Igbo le urula this na army. Ndị Igbo le urula that. We table those things down na anyị agwọ na enyoba na amara onye megbugi ibe ye. Amara onye megbugi ibe n'obodo abụ Nigeria. Because in this country it is as if there is two laws in this country. One for the Nigeria, then ofu for ndị Igbo. Oh yes, because n'obodo abụ Nigeria, ọ dị ka enwere iwu abụọ, two constitutions n'obodo abụ Nigeria. One for ndị Nigeria bụ ndị Nigeria, then the other one for ndị Igbo. Onye bụ onye Nigeria ga-emete ihe the same thing onye bụ onye Igbo metere. Ele onye nke bụ onye Nigeria soft landing. Le onye nke bụ the same thing onye amere ka onye amere. Asị ị ga-ahụ ishie, ị ga-anwụ ene ya. We are being marginalized in every aspect of this country. That is the problem. And unfortunately, the leaders of the Southeast are the problem. Hana ndiama jato do carry umunne ha. They value ndiama carry umunne ha. They are ready to sell umunne ha. Kahana ndiama do. That is the problem with Igbo leaders. That is the problem. That is the problem. And when problem also leaders since after Ojuku, of course, nnamdi kanu, kedonye ga atu aka na Igbo na asi, na onye abu onye Igbo ndị Igbo ga-abụ atu aka si, you are our leader. Kwuo ka anyị soro gị ihe kwuru ka anyị ga-eme. None. None. None, onwero. And it is a problem to the Igbo nation. That landed in and out as leaders which are betrayers. Betrayers, karaka. They want to betrayers times 10. Nimo fuonye and leaders of Ndibo. They don't like people like us that are vocal, people like us that are saying what they are doing. As far as you when you are vocal, either they bruleg you one time or the other, atubuleg you one time or the other, even when they threat to your life one time or the other, because you said the truth to defend Igbo land. And we will keep defending this our fatherland. Igbo land, and we keep defending it. That is the truth. That is the truth. So ana cho ye defend ana cho material barakasa. Material barakasa. Manamam at the end of the day. Chukwu kika biama ke gosi ho jiburu chukwu. Amara na m nke ahụ machie ya ike. Mgbe ụlọ ọhụrụkwa ala Igbo ga-egosi kpọmkwem na onye eziokwu anaghị anwụ anwụ. Onye na-anwụnụ wu onye ụgha. Igbo, mmanụ.
I find it difficult to understand you Igbophobic, marasmic, and dwarf intellectuals. That unless we correct this imbalance of treating the Igbos as second-class citizens, as defeated foes and people we hate, this country cannot do well. I'm Dr. Charles Apoki. I want to talk about Igbophobia and intellectual dwarfism, intellectual marasmus, intellectual kwashoko. In Nigeria, when people want to score cheap political points, they bring hatred and bias against the Igbos to play. I was in Imo State yesterday, deep down Imo State. In the whole crowd that was there, most likely I was the only non-Igbo amongst them. And they celebrated me, took extreme good care of me. I've been friends with them since 1985. And one of the most reliable friends you can get is an Igbo man. And one of the places you can live in Nigeria as a stranger and be treated with utmost respect is in Igbo land. They respect you as a stranger. But I am amazed at how, for political expediency, the average educated Nigerian can suddenly turn to a tribalist. I schooled in Ibadan, lived in Igbora, Yete, Igongon, Lanlate, Oshogbo, been to several places. We have wonderful people there who do not have this phobia for Igbos. I've listened to Yoruba elites, northern elites, who don't have this phobia and hatred. But there are a few poorly educated tribalists that, for political expediency, they bring Igbophobia to the forefront. I was listening to a senator being analyzed by two Yoruba intellectuals, particularly the Doyin Adebowale man, very sound. So this Igbophobia is not a tribal thing, it's personal, and it's a sign of intellectual dwarfism. About a senator in the Nigerian Senate, mark that word, senator, in the Nigerian Senate, who had served in various capacities of leadership in Nigeria, who is a lawyer and schooled in a federal university far away from his state, okay, not too far away, federal university in Edo State, University of Benin, a lawyer that must have schooled with people from other tribes in University of Benin, and then was part of NANS, Nigerian National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. When the debate for regional governments came up, he opposed it on the floor of the Senate that if we go back to regional government, that we will have acceded to the demand of the Igbos for Biafra. I want us to look at these issues very carefully. Was there regionalism before now? Was it regionalism that led to the declaration of Biafra? No. There was regionalism. It wasn't regionalism that led to the declaration of Biafra. Number two, if regionalism would lead to the acquiescence to the demand for Biafra, so you should deprive your own people and other regions the benefits of regionalism, of regional government. The next thing is that where you come from, is there agitation for Yoruba states? Yes. I was flying to an African country about 2 weeks back, and there was an old Baba that they wheeled to the departure lounge, and it was raining curses, abuses on one Yoruba leader. Let me say the president, the current president, raining curses and abuses, saying so many things about his origin, where he comes from, where he does not come from, University of Chicago or whatever. They talked a lot of things. And he said that it is Yoruba state, Yoruba nation that they want. And that the Yoruba currency will be the Ruba. And that it will be more powerful than the Naira. The man is far, far older than I am. The next thing is that Igboho, his house was raided. I don't know if some people were killed, but his house was raided because of agitation for Yoruba nation, Oduduwa state, Yoruba nation. Very recently, and he was detained in Republic of Benin, was tried, and the federal government lost. Very recently, he has been able to come to this country. Nothing was done. Now, the next thing is that some agitants or agitators for Yoruba nation went and invaded the government house in Agodi in Ibadan, raised the Yoruba flag, went with arms. The attack was foiled. Why did you not say, Mr. Senator, that if they do that, if we go to the regional government, that the demands of the agitators for Yoruba state like Igbo will have been met. I find it difficult to understand you Igbophobic, marasmic, and dwarf intellectuals. And you could stand in the floor of the Senate. But what amazes me is that a lot of the Igbo leaders, they might not say anything because they are so afraid of the little benefits that they benefit from being there. Joe Igbokwe, Commissioner for Canal, Drainages and Dustbin in Lagos. Anything, you were very aggressive in attacking your fellow Igbos. Now your wife went to buy rice at 100,000 per bag. You are complaining. Don't you see you are not sensible? That there's protein energy deficiency in your brain when it relates to political analysis and wisdom. Simple question. Igboho has been released. The leader of Meiti Allah that was arrested has been released. The Supreme Court set Nnamdi Kanu free. Why is he not being released? Igbophobia, unless we address it, I said this in the Nigerian Bar Association seminar that we organized, that unless we correct this imbalance of treating the Igbos as second-class citizens, as defeated foes and people we hate, this country cannot do well. We cannot have peace. Any segment of this nation should be treated with respect. You will see what will happen if we continue like this. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. That's what we are singing now. The Igbos must not be oppressed, must not be demonized, must not be discriminated against. We, the minorities, must not be treated like trash in this country. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki.
Igbos in Nigeria, 73% said sometimes or always they were treated unfairly by the government. This is last year. This is the highest rate of any ethnic group surveyed in Africa. In their view, they are sometimes or always treated unfairly by the government.
So it's the issue of injustice?
It is a deep grievance, and it's a disconnect from the Nigeria project, as was mentioned earlier. And I mentioned that number just to underscore the underlying grievance that has to be addressed. So amnesty is potentially part of a package, but the disconnect has to be addressed, and the Southeast is a core pillar of the Nigeria project. It comes back to the discussion of its importance. So all of these issues that are being discussed are inherently political. They're being seen through a political lens. For example, infrastructure, development. The grievance is you have a very productive region that is exporting not just to Nigeria but internationally. You have, I think, Imo and Anambra are number 4 and number 6 for GDP in Nigeria, and that was in 2021, which was a very violent year. So even amidst the violence, three of the 5 states in Southeast are in the top 12 for GDP per capita, yet there's no seaport. The bridges are not good. The roads are not good. So it is a development and infrastructure issue, but it's seen through a political lens as a political grievance. The same with security, which is you have significant deployment of security forces, yet the perception is the DPOs are not from Southeast. Many of the officers are not from Southeast. They are not necessarily well-versed in the local context. And so they're not performing the role of community security in a way that they or other communities would expect. So that's a security issue, yes, but it's also perceived through a political lens, and it's the same with federal appointments and involvement in governance. So these are development, these are policy, these are economic issues, but they're seen through a broader political lens, that they're not being kind of fairly adjudicated. And I think that's really important to underscore. So amnesty as part of a package may be a solution, but the underlying grievances have to be addressed with an understanding of the political perception, how the infrastructure problems, how the economic problems, how the security issues are perceived politically, and what it means to have more representative involvement in those efforts from a Southeast perspective. Yes, it has to be a multi-stakeholder approach. The sensitive issues have to be addressed, and there needs to be involvement of the key stakeholders as this initiative is doing. That being said, in contexts like this, you might not move everybody over. You might not convince everybody. But where you make a serious effort and where you provide legitimate avenues, you will see a significant reduction in popular grievance that draws down support for extremism and makes it very difficult to operate. So a multi-stakeholder approach doesn't immediately solve all the problems, but it changes the trajectory, and it moves a lot of the public into using or trying to use the legitimate mechanisms again, as opposed to staying on the sidelines or even supporting extremist activity. So it's where you need to start, and it's the direction that you need to go.
In fact, it's like they have shared Nigeria. From the latest I saw today, okay, let's go to Edo. The Benin people, of course, Benin people have been fighting people up and down. Then coming to Edo State now, Isan, Isan people, they are part of Edo. Now, Isan are not agreeing with Benin people. Isan decided to side the Igbos. The Isans, the Bankers, of course, the Banker, they speak clean Igbo.
In Nigeria, you say an Igbo man cannot be Inspector General of Police, an Igbo man cannot be Chief of Army Staff, an Igbo man. Why? So if you don't want them, if you don't trust them, and they say they want to go, then so why are you then stopping them?
Very violent year. So even amidst the violence, three of the 5 states in Southeast are in the top 12 for GDP per capita. Yet there's no seaport. The bridges are not good. The roads are not good. So it is a development and infrastructure issue, but it's seen through a political lens as a political grievance. The same with security, which is you have significant deployment of security forces, yet the perception is the DPOs are not from Southeast. Many of the officers are not from Southeast. They are not necessarily...
It is actually not in the interest of Nigeria to have any military issues with Niger Republic, because throughout history, Niger have stand up for Nigeria in many instances. I can remember during Biafran War, if you study the history, then there are some troops that came from Niger to support Nigerians in fighting against the Biafran War. And that same time, when General Gowon approached Cameroon to assist us to have a route through their borders down into the other plans of the Biafran control regions, I remember that time President Ahijo had to tell Gowon that for us to allow you to pass through that route, you must sacrifice Bakassi. If you don't know, that was the case that led to the present.
How can anybody say an Igbo man cannot be president of Nigeria and I will accept it? Then it shows how brainless I am. If I'm the president of Nigeria today, I would have turned Southeast Nigeria into the hub, our own Silicon Valley. These are people endowed. They are as brilliant as the Chinese, the Koreans, and the Indians put together. We have them. Why are we not using them? But because there was a civil war before, and we said we have forgiven ourselves, and now, so, but you are forgiving yourselves, but an Igbo man can.
Igbos in Nigeria, 73% said sometimes or always they were treated unfairly by the government. This is last year. This is the highest rate of any ethnic group surveyed in Africa. In their view, they are sometimes or always treated unfairly by the government.
So it's issue of injustice?
It is a deep grievance, and it's a disconnect from the Nigeria project, as was mentioned earlier. And I mentioned that number just to underscore the underlying grievance that has.
Yes, my people, we have come again on Yanga Life channel, and obviously, if you have been on the internet, especially TikTok, Facebook, and the rest of them, especially TikTok, you know, you hear war. There are war in Nigeria, as in verbal war. In fact, it's like they have shared Nigeria. For the latest I saw today, you know, okay, let's go to Edo. The Benin people, of course, Benin people have been fighting people up and down. Then coming to Edo State now, Isan, you know, Isan people, they are part of Edo. Now, Isan are not agreeing with Benin people. Isan decided to side the Igbos. You know, the Isans, the Banke, of course, the Banke, they speak clean Igbo. The Banke in Edo State. So now the game is that Isan people are now with Igbo people, while Benin people are standing alone. The Bankers are with Igbo people. You see? So I don't know. Well, this kind of you know, verbal, you know, assault is not good though. I think it's not good, but we are learning from these things. You know, people have a kind of mentality that they have. That's why we talk about nations. Nigeria has different nations in it. So that's why it's good to, you know, look into the system of governance that brought us together. So the two key things now in this video is, one, we have dig deep in our previous videos. You can check our channel, what brought about 1966 coup, because there is this ideology that is an Igbo coup. But the people that we have brought you their videos, Yoruba people, Yoruba men of integrity, proven integrity, they have verbally said it that it's not an Igbo coup, that these people are educated and experienced people, though some of them are from eastern part of Nigeria, and they have an intention to make Nigeria a better place. That is never an Igbo coup. Aside that, the second point here is that what then caused the war to start? We have solved that problem, and we brought to you that some group of civil servants, federal civil servants, permanent secretaries being led by Oba of Benin, they are the one that told Gowon, look, don't accept that paper, that Aburi Accord. You know, from there the war started. Now, another important question, or one important question, is that why are there so much jealousy found against an Igbo man? Why? If we have been together, you know, to work together in peace and harmony, Nigeria would have gone far more than this. You know, I used to tell you guys this thing, that Igbo man is not that political, but he cares so much about his life and the way things are going. Invariably or variably, the economy matters so much to an Igbo man. And the problem of Nigeria is not politics, it's the economy. Okay, now let's listen to Dele Momodu. You know, some people, thank God, some people can still have some truth in them, no matter what is happening, no matter what the situation. They still say the truth, and they know that the truth will save us one day. See, I always tell you guys, all these things we are doing, we are buying time. One day the truth will come out, and one day we will come together and make a better nation. We are just buying time. All these politicians are not allowing us to, you know, do the correct thing. In the sense that it seems that like some politicians, you know, they are self-centered because of the foundation that they met. The foundation they met in politics, and they go on like that. And it's not an easy thing to dismantle that foundation to build another foundation. You see the point? So now we are going to listen to Dele Momodu. When we come back, we'll continue. Thank you.
How can anybody say an Igbo man cannot be president of Nigeria and I will accept it? Then it shows how brainless I am. If I'm the president of Nigeria today, I would have turned Southeast Nigeria into the hub, our own Silicon Valley. These are people endowed. They are as brilliant as the Chinese, the Koreans, and the Indians put together. We have them. Why are we not using them? But because there was a civil war before, and we said we have forgiven ourselves, and now, so but you are forgiving yourselves, but an Igbo man cannot become anything in Nigeria, cannot be president, cannot be trusted to be Inspector General of Police, cannot be trusted. Why? Look at Joe Biden. He has already appointed Nigerians into his government. Already. Before his inauguration, he already appointed Nigerians. He didn't say because they say Nigerians, so they are very corrupt people, all those stupid, sentiments that people express against us. He appointed them. Why? He saw their talent. He appointed the first black man. Now, Pentagon has a new Secretary of Defense. He's a black man. In Nigeria, you say an Igbo man cannot be Inspector General of Police, an Igbo man cannot be Chief of Army Staff, an Igbo man. Why? So if you don't want them, if you don't trust them, and they say they want to go, then so why are you then stopping them? Why are you stopping them? You don't want me, and you are saying, Igbo slaves got freedom. These are people contributing to world economy, not just listen, not Nigerian economy. The Igbos are contributing to world economy. There is no country I have been, I will not find an Igbo man either at the peak of academia, at the peak of business, at the peak of professions. They are everywhere. Medical doctors, surgeons, lawyers, bankers, they are everywhere. And then you come back to Nigeria, you are discriminating against them, and you are saying they will not agitate for their own nation. We are the ones causing the problem. If you want an Igbo man, then bring them there and see if they will not perform. In this Lagos today where we live, anything we want to do now, innovation, the first thing is, let's go to computer village. Who are the people controlling computer village? Let's go to Alaba. Who are the people controlling Alaba? Do you think people with empty brains can control those things that the Igbos control? Even with all this fight, Biafra, if you go to Kanu today, without the Igbo selling spare parts, nobody will function. All the cars there will come to stand still. You go to Sokoto, you will meet them there. Go to Borno, go to Iraq, go to Afghanistan, you see Igbo man doing great.
Yes, having listened to Dele Momodu, I will still have to show you another clip from a white man. You see, these foreigners, they understand what is happening to Nigeria even more than so many Nigerians. They understood it so much that, if you listen to what this man is saying, you will know that they are following closely what is happening in Nigeria. That's why we keep crying. Our governors, those in government in the southeast, they still have a very big role to play in making southeast the hub, the economic hub of Nigeria. The kind of infrastructures that they put in place matters a lot. Are they doing what is expected of them to do? I mean, the governors in the southeast, because the onus of responsibility lies on them. That's why I keep crying. I keep crying. In most of my videos I do in Anambra Southeast, though some of the things I see there is not of standard. But obviously there is improvement from what we used to have. But for such region that is being neglected from above, you know, you need to put extra effort to let them know that yes, you can do it. You know, enough of all these kind of you know, some corrupt practices, or how do I put it, you know, engaging in substandard.
So guys, a whole lot has been happening as regards to the insecurity in Nigeria. Let me take you through some of the reactions from Nigerians after Raimo tweeted about the latest kidnapping of Nigerians. I mean, Christians who went to church on Sunday to worship God, they were kidnapped. This is one of the reasons why the US is pushing for the division of Nigeria, because the North doesn't want to hear anything Christianity. They believe Nigeria is an Islamic state. You know, you must have seen that there is an Islamic inscription on the Nigerian military logo. There is also Islamic inscription on our Naira notes. These people are gradually conquering communities, states, and all that. Like Southern Kaduna, where this kidnapping happened, some of the royal highnesses that have died, they've replaced them with emir. This is how they gradually conquer environments. So guys, a whole lot has been happening in Nigeria. Now, Raimo reacted to that kidnapping of Christians on Sunday. More than 100 persons taken into the bush, and the security agencies were not there. It's really a heavy blow on the defense minister, Musa. You know your place is a high-risk place. I mean, Southern Kaduna, everybody knows, is this epic center of terrorists, you know, striking all the time. And Musa is supposed to be policing his environment. You don't even need permission from Tinubu to police your environment. I mean, all the communities in Southern Kaduna should be well policed and with using policemen and military. I mean, these people cannot just be killing your people as if they are that cheap. It's not cheap to give birth to a child and that child is grown up and people will just invade your house and buy your father, buy your mother, and buy your siblings, and it just becomes a normal trend. So, Christopher Musa, you have a lot of work to do, not just for the Nigerian people, but for your people directly. Let all the attacks that have been happening in your state not continue. Musa, let all the attacks happening in your place. You should, at least, they say charity begins from home. If you really want being the defense minister, start defending. Make sure there is no attack that happens in your state. If it means setting up vigilante, go and set them up. Let them work with the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police, and keep your people safe. Southern Kaduna has had enough of the killing. So guys, let me show you how some Nigerians have reacted to Ted Cruz, who also said something about this kidnapping. This person, Emeka, the screwdriver seller, just shared their location with their with you. Check your WhatsApp. And this other person said, please, sir, do whatever possible to divide Nigeria. Nigeria is not one, and we don't believe in each other. We have different ideology and different beliefs. President Trump should do everything possible to let the Igbos go, and the killing of Christians in Nigeria is too much. And this person said the New York Times will soon hang it on the screwdriver dealer. And this person here said, this news don't reach your table. It don't finish. Another person, the federal government of Muslim Nigeria and Caliphate of Northern Nigeria will come out to say nothing happened. They are busy lobbying DC politicians as to cover abysmal killing of Christians in Nigeria, wondering what defense and lies they will come up with in this demonic incident. So guys, Nigerians have really lost trust in our government, especially under the Tinubu's government. I mean, people are just wondering what is happening in Nigeria. This person says kidnapping has become a lucrative business in Nigeria. This person says Nigerian government won't do anything because the government supports Islamization agenda. So guys, this is it. You can see that it is really horrific when you talk of the kind of people we share country with. I mean, can people just come out to say, you know, terrorizing the country is their agenda, and the Northerners are all silent? Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification for more videos. Thank you.